Tech Tales 72. Today is July 1st, 2021, 6:35 a.m. At 1 p.m. Pacific time today, I'm planning to do a live stream on the subject of Windows 11 and TPM, and I'll just let you know that at the beginning of all of this, I was not happy with Microsoft. I was upset about it. I'm kind of softening on that. I'm going to be presenting my ideas why I suspect 10 years from now we'll look back on this and say that was the right way to handle it and the right thing to do, meaning to enforce TPM. Now, I don't know if it's going to turn out that way, but I'm just going to present my reasons for coming around to that thinking and see how the people involved in the live stream feel about that and take on whatever chat we have about that. So, moving on to time slip. June 22nd, an hour and 50 minutes for the law office mic, 7:32 to 9:22 p.m. for Alpha. And Alpha is the new employee in the office. Perform most of new user checklists for repurposing Golf's computer for Alpha. So that was just working through my checklist. Then the following day, 17 minutes, 12:55 p.m. to 1:12 p.m. for the same law office mic with Alpha on the phone and remote support to provide orientation to computer. There is more configuration to be completed, but is functional at present. Added Golf's shared calendar to Alpha's Outlook. So Golf is the attorney in this office, and actually there's two attorneys, but he's the owner of the business. He has a shared calendar, and his assistant needs to have that shared calendar on her computer so that she can make reference to it and make changes to it. And that was not part of my checklist. That's an unusual thing. I think this is my only client who's using a shared calendar. Then the next time slip, 11 minutes on that same June 23rd Wednesday, same law office, 1:35 to 1:46 p.m. with Alpha, phone and remote connection to adjust shared calendar settings to be able to make changes to Golf's shared calendar. Found Golf's calendar was set to allow organization to see but not edit his calendar. Reconfigured to all organization members allowed to edit his calendar. Note, this seemed inconsistent with report that the previous assistant, who was also a Golf, was able to edit the attorney's calendar, which is only being noted in concern that something abnormal may have occurred, which may have other undesirable ramifications. So this was weird to me that when I provided access to this shared calendar, the person should have inherited whatever rights were already granted to the organization. But they called me back here saying that the new assistant can't make changes to his calendar and has to be able to do that. And that's the way it's operated in the past. I don't see how that's possible with what I saw here. Maybe they tried adjusting settings themselves and inadvertently changed the rights for that calendar. The rights have to be set from the attorney's side. So I don't know. I put that note into the time slip thinking we may see something more about this. Moving on to the next time slip, same office, same day, 7 minutes, 3:53 to 4 p.m. for Alpha, the new assistant. Added an additional email address to Outlook. This also was not on my checklist for this office. Now, the reason why my checklist was not very thorough for this office is they don't have a lot of turnover, and the checklist is kind of still forming. And the checklist for the assistant to the attorney is different than the checklist for the other attorney in the office and for the bookkeeper in the office. So they have an email address called service at, and then their custom domain name. And that is used for providing to the courts or to process servers when they need to send information about documents being served upon somebody. So they send it to that email address. So this is an extra email address, an extra inbox for this assistance Outlook. Next time slip, also Wednesday, June 23rd, 18 minutes for a different law office, PAPA. Well, you've heard PAPA before. It's that office, 4:06 to 4:24 p.m. for Romeo Uniform, phone and remote support to computer in the Annex building, first office. So they have two buildings on their property. One building is clearly built as an office building to begin with. They own this piece of property that has two other buildings that were originally probably 1920s homes, two-story homes. They've completely rebuilt one of those, keeping the historical design of the house. These two houses are actually on a local historical landmark register, but one of them has been converted to modern office space. So we call this the Annex. The other building is still operated as an apartment building and still kind of in its original state, just maintained over the years. So the first office in this Annex has been unoccupied for a while. Once COVID hit and they reduced staffing, people working from home, some employees laid off, this office hasn't had an occupant in it for a long time, but the computer's still been there. So this is about that computer. And they said that it's missing the network drive mappings. And they were unsure who the computer was last assigned to, because something they do in this office is they will move computers around without telling me. They'll reassign a person from one desk to another desk. They'll take the computer with them sometimes, or they'll tell me the person's moved and they want me to reconfigure the computer that's at the new desk for that user's credentials. So they didn't know who this was last assigned to. They were logged in as one of several users that this computer had on its sign-in list. When you start Windows, get to the sign-in screen, it gives a list of what user accounts are on the computer. Set up, and they were asking me to set it up for use as a floater so that anybody could go up to it. And the reason for this is because upstairs air conditioner was out. So they want to put somebody temporarily in this office without actually reconfiguring the computer. Further work deferred due to time constraints. I had time constraints at that point and couldn't do the rest of it. So I'll have another time slip later about the work on that. And actually it is the next time slip, but I want to spend a little more time discussing that because I think it has some interesting conversation about it. Yeah, that's good right there. So I hope that was useful. Have a great day. Catch you later. Goodbye.